for Schindler. Has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
Can I buy you a pint? A pint of piping hot championship chat, that is, sponsored by Magic Rock. We're doing these pint-sized previews and we're turning our eye on Middlesbrough now. And before we have a little chat about what we think about them, we spoke to Jonny Bullock from the Boro Breakdown to get his views on this season.
Jonny here from the Boro Breakdown podcast. I'm here just to give you a prediction and preview of Boro this season, and my predictions could change over the next few weeks. Middlesbrough are in urgent need of players in the transfer market. We've just sold Chen Spence for £12.5 million, and we need 3 strikers, a centre defensive midfielder cover. We need another right centre mid and a left centre back. And to be honest, you could probably add a couple more players for strength and depth in the bench as well. So we could be really, really active over the next few weeks. And I think if we don't get the right players in, that's where things might go a little bit pear-shaped. I think we will challenge with the squad that we've got, although it needs firepower towards probably 10th and above. But if we do bring in the right players, be sensible with our transfers, find that balance, which we're trying to do with these transfers that we're bringing in. I appreciate we brought Lenihan and Giles in already, and Zach Steffen, and we are looking to add a little bit more in terms of firepower at the top end of the pitch. If we bring those players in, the right players, sensible players, we can really challenge for the playoffs and hopefully for automatic this season. I think we've got the right man in charge in Chris Wilder. I think arguably he is probably the best manager in the league this season. Just his CV speaks for himself. I think promotions with every single club he's ever been at, what he did with Sheffield United and what he's currently doing with us, I think he's definitely the right man at the right time with the right investment. And hopefully with this new structure that we have at the club, with more sensible and looking at selling for profit, we could be in a really, really good place. But if not this year, it will probably be definitely next year. I think we're a team that's definitely building, not just for now, but for the future, and being very sustainable as a club. And that's really promising. I think when we're looking at key players that you want to build that team around, Marcus Tavernier, even though he's linked with a 15 million move away, you're looking at the Isaiah Jones on that right-hand side. Ryan Giles this year could be a good addition to us on that left-hand side, really good in attacking full-back. Johnny Howson centre defensive midfield. I think we need cover for that this year because he is 35 now, and you want someone a bit more fresh legs to dominate that midfield and dominate games when you've got the ball. I think we just don't have that quality there yet. But overall, I'm predicting a good season if we bring in the right players over the next few weeks. But either way, I think we'll be okay in terms of 10th if we don't get the players in. But if we do get the players in and the right players, I think we're looking probably definitely top 6. And hey, you never know with Middlesbrough, the automatic promotion places. Well, fingers crossed. But guys, thank you very much for having me on. All the best for the season, and take care, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much for that. My take on Middlesbrough is that I don't have a take on Middlesbrough because there is no way their recruitment is anything like done at this point of recording. We're recording on the 20th. All they've brought in at the moment is Darren Lenihan, who comes in for that sort of Nathan Wood spot. And I think that's a bit of a downgrade. Nathan Wood's gone to Swansea, and I think he's a terrific player. They've brought in a couple of goalkeepers, and they've brought in Kamel Conte from Watford. They're nowhere near done. I don't know what this squad looks like after the transfer window is shut, but Chris Wilder will want more recruits. He's only really got, in terms of attacking, he's only really got like Ryan Giles in on loan from Wolves, and he's not sort of an out-and-out like brilliant winger. So yeah, it's very, very difficult to talk about Middlesbrough. The thing I would say is Middlesbrough's season lives or dies by their manager, really, because Chris Wilder is a brilliant manager at this level, and he can do wonderful things with a good squad. He can turn it into a great squad, and he hasn't got that yet. And they've lost players like, Dijksteel and Bamba and Peltier and Taylor, and like they've lost a lot of their core, and they obviously need to recruit and get some more players into that. Middlesbrough's season collapses if like somebody up at the higher end who pays more, or lower part of the Premier League starts badly. Chris Wilder is definitely going to be on the list to replace them, and that's their slight issue. So very, very difficult to put any sort of idea of where they'll be. They should, in my heart of hearts, they should be in the playoff mix without a shadow of a doubt. But like as I said, the squad's just not there at the minute. But I'm sure, I'm supremely confident, particularly now they've got Martin Piero off the wage bill as well. I'm sort of supremely confident that they will go on a bit of a trolley dash over the next sort of 5 weeks and fill out that squad, and they'll probably be playoff contenders. If they don't, if for some reason there's something we don't know, and they might only be adding one or two, then I think they'll still be sort of upper mid-table just by virtue of Chris Wilder. But there's still serious work to be done there, I would say. Matt, your views?
I like Middlesbrough as a football club. I think they genuinely head in the right direction. I think they tend to eventually show the levels of ambition that match what the fans want to see. They've got a good owner, a good manager. I agree with you, Dave. I think removing, is it Piero, isn't it, the striker? Yeah. From speaking to Jonny a little bit, he seems to think that they're after a couple of strikers, and if they nail what they're after, then things could be quite good. And I do think Middlesbrough are going to be pushing the top six next season. I do think they will do things. It's not the type of structure and not the type of owner to appoint Chris Wilder and just rest on it. So I think they will back him, and I think they'll do well. I think there's one or two holes to fill, isn't there, if you like, but I think they'll do it, and I think they'll be stronger than last season, and really push on and make a good fist of it towards the top six. Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's quite interesting that they've not brought in more yet, but I wonder if maybe they were just waiting for that Spence money to maybe become available. So I'd like to think in the next couple of weeks we'll see some more Wilder men coming in to help them push for that top six, but I can't see nothing past them being up there whilst having Chris Wilder there. So yeah, great team, great manager.
Brady?
Yeah, hard to disagree with what you guys say. I think if they will recruit more players, come September 1st, if they've got all the targets they want, I think, and Wilder's still there, a top four for me, easy. I think Wilder's such a good manager at this level, as you've touched on, Dave. I think he can, like you say, make a good squad great. I think that's the big factor. Zach Steffen, I think that's a really interesting signing, bringing him on loan from Man City. I think he could probably go lower Prem if there was the position there. And
the big problem area, wasn't it, Brady? It was that keeper was a huge problem area last year because Lumley wasn't really. I think Middlesbrough kind of look at that and think the goalkeeping probably cost them the top six, I think, don't they?
Yeah, for certain. That's what I was going to say. Lumley, I know he's gone on loan. When we spoke to Jonny for the, last season, I think that was kind of the main thing that held them back. And we, as Huddersfield Town fans we know how much a good goalkeeper can help you during the season. So interesting to see. I think Lenihan and McNair as well as a partnership. I think that's really solid. Going to be hard to break down. So top four for me. Could even, depending on Norwich, Burnley, and Watford, depending on what they're like, I wouldn't be surprised if they could even push for automatics potentially.
Okay, so that was our preview of Middlesbrough. Overall, they just need men, innocent men. Thank you for joining us on another pint-sized preview.